To his own family, Marcus Wesson was God with dreadlocks. He sired 18 children with 7 different women, some of those women being children of his own. He then murdered 9 of them. The only job Wesson had for any length of time was that of a bank teller, and he quit when God, he said, began speaking through him, telling him he was God and that the apocalypse was near. It is not clear how he reconciled being God and being spoken to by God. He said he would not hold a job because he had to keep his divine wisdom a secret. At the age of 27, he married the 9-year-old daughter of the woman he lived with, convincing the child that God had decided the girl should be his wife. They were then legally married when she turned 15. Living on welfare, the family once lived in a tent in the mountains and at other times lived in abandoned shacks, boats, and dilapidated houses. Wesson had a fascination with vampires and religion and believed that Jesus Christ had been a vampire because both Jesus and vampires were immortal and because of the Bible's emphasis on Jesus' blood. He wrote his own version of the Christian Bible, which focused on Jesus being a vampire. He would later attempt to publish the manuscript, but was told that it was unintelligible. He also named one of his sons Jiva, J-E-V-A, taking J-E from Jesus and V-A from vampire. While Jiva is simple enough, he actually called the boy G. Vam Mark Sus Pyre, cramming Jesus, vampire, and Marcus into one name. Wesson molested and raped his daughters and told them they were all destined to become his wives, and did marry them in small home ceremonies when they were 7 to 9 years of age. All of the children were forced to refer to him as Lord and Master. 3 of his sons recounted how their childhood punishments, painful lashings, were carried out with 30 days of beatings, which they had to remind him of every day or suffer even more punishment. "Can I have my spanking today?" they would ask, and he would beat them. At the time of the family murder, the Familicide, the family lived in a small home in which the children slept in antique coffins that Wesson collected. His extended family, including 2 of his nieces, whom he had fathered children with, went to the home to get their inbred children. Wesson, however, would not give them up. "Not under kidnapping circumstances," he told her, as if he was not the one committing the crimes. Police were soon called to the home for a domestic dispute, and before leaving with police, Wesson said he wanted to say goodbye to his children. The police were unable to enter the home because it would take them several hours to obtain search warrants. Wesson disappeared into the home for some 80 minutes, during which time he, or his daughter he would later claim, shot every one of the children through the eyes. When he returned to the front door, he was covered in blood, and police then entered the home to help the children. The children were found piled up in a room, stacked youngest to oldest, blood pooled beneath them. They ranged from ages 1 to 25. During the trial, Wesson's other children told horrific tales of sexual abuse. At age 7, he began touching them. By age 12, they were engaging in oral sex with their father and intercourse by age 15. His mental domination of the children was so intense that even during the trial, one daughter said she saw no reason a father should not have sex with his daughters. Before the trial, one of his sons praised Wesson by saying his father was a good parent and that their childhood was a nice way to grow up. Neighborhood residents said the family was very quiet and seemed to barbecue often at night, and described Wesson as withdrawn and private. Although 9 children lived in the home at the time of the massacre, one neighbor said they were surprised of the crime, mainly because they didn't even know any children lived there. During the trial, Wesson wrote intensely on a legal pad as the lawyers and witnesses discussed the murders. During breaks in the trial, he would tap his fingers on the table as if playing a keyboard, or wave his hands in the air like he was conducting a symphony. At one point, when the prosecuting attorney debated with a witness, Wesson yelled out, "Objection! The prosecutor is angry!" Wesson's defense claimed that his daughter Sabrina had murdered the children before killing herself, and pointed out that the murder weapon, a .22 caliber handgun, was found near her body, as if Wesson could not have murdered them all and then placed the gun next to her. The jury did not suggest that Wesson had murdered the children himself, but sentenced him to death under the assumption that he had convinced his children to take part in a suicide pact. Born in 1946 and now represented by a lawyer who continuously appeals Wesson's case throughout the years, it is unlikely he will be executed before dying an undeserved natural death.